The Pentagon has finally come out and admitted it. Now, this is kind of a follow-up on a couple stories I did a while ago where there was like the Navy was going to start taking credible reports of UFOs and actually starting to investigate them. But some researchers reached out to the Pentagon and the Pentagon said, "You're right, we're doing it." And so apparently this is like a big shock that the Pentagon is actually admitting it investigates UFOs. And I want to make one thing clear contextually. For one, I'm no conspiracy theorist. I do not believe they're aliens. I believe the most important reason for investigating UFOs is that if a foreign adversary has access to technology we don't, we better damn well know about it. Japan didn't know about the nukes that the United States had, and it didn't fare well for them. The US essentially used the nukes to prove a point and force their surrender. It's best if there is some kind of technology we don't know about, that we do know about it, and that requires us, reporting technologies or some kind of phenomenon we don't understand. So let's check out. I've got this, but I've also got these this is from history. My understanding is, this is from a couple days ago about really interesting traits seen that's being reported by a former Pentagon investigator. This is fascinating stuff. I think this is amazing. I hope you guys find it fascinating too. But before we get started, go to timcast.com/donate if you want to support my work, help me keep making these videos. There's a monthly donation option, a cryptocurrency option, physical address, but of course, like and comment. Tell me what you think, because the engagement really helps the video. YouTube then says, oh, okay, it must be good, and we'll share it, and whatever. Or if you hate me, you can just ignore it and do nothing, whatever. But let's get back to the story. In a statement this week, the Pentagon officially confirmed that not only did it track reports of UFOs, or as they call them, unidentified aerial phenomena, for several years, it's still doing it to some degree. In a statement provided exclusively to the New York Post, a Department of Defense spokesman said a secret government initiative called the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program did pursue research and investigation into unidentified aerial phenomena. They call it ATIP. Though the ATIP was officially shut down in 2012, Pentagon spokesman Christopher Sherwood acknowledged that the DoD does still investigate reports of unidentified aircraft encountered by U.S. military aviators. They would be insane not to. Just because you don't know what it is doesn't mean it doesn't exist. If people keep seeing the same thing, and apparently they've got 5 traits seen of these vehicles, then you've got a pattern here. And I think the likely outcome is some kind of weapon or technology from someone we don't know. It could even be U.S., top secret stuff. It could be us. I mean, there's a possibility it's aliens. I don't think that's the case, but it's important that we investigate. The Department of Defense is always concerned about maintaining positive identification of all aircraft in our operating environment, as well as identifying any foreign capability that may be a threat to the homeland, Sherwood told the Post. The department will continue to investigate through normal procedures reports of unidentified aircraft encountered by U.S. military aviators in order to ensure defense of the homeland and protection against strategic surprise by our nation's adversaries. For a reaction, the Post turned to Nick Pope, a journalist and author who once ran the British government's secret UFO investigation team, who called the Pentagon's admission a bombshell revelation. Previous statements by the department said Pope were deliberately ambiguous about the nature of the investigations, leaving open the possibility that they simply monitored potential next-generation aviation threats from aircraft, missiles, and drones rather than what the public would call UFOs. The term used by Sherwood, unidentified aerial phenomena, Pope pointed out, is the same term the British Ministry of Defense used as an attempt to get away from the pop culture baggage that came with the term UFO. They go on to say, while a Pentagon spokesman going on the record to acknowledge the department's investigations may be something of a bombshell, information about ATIP and the department's continued investigations into sightings was revealed to the public over a year ago. The New York Times broke the story, the Pentagon's mysterious UFO program. It's really fun and cool, isn't it? In the $600 billion annual Defense Department budgets, the $22 million spent on the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program was almost impossible to find, which was how the Pentagon wanted it. For years, the program investigated reports of unidentified flying objects, according to Defense Department officials, interviews with program participants, and records obtained by the New York Times. It was run by a military intelligence official, Luis Elizondo, on the 5th floor of the Pentagon's C Ring, deep within the building's maze. Talk about a badass job. I mean, to me, that sounds like one of the coolest jobs ever. Official government intelligence security tracking UFOs. if they were aliens. I mean, I guess it's just another boring military job trying to track potential threats from foreign adversaries, so still kind of cool, national defense is an important thing. The Times noted the department had never before acknowledged the existence of the program, which it says it shut down in 2012. I'd be willing to bet there's a new program, something else. But said backers and officials with the program revealed that it remains in existence, continuing to investigate episodes brought to them by service members while also carrying out their other Department of Defense Department duties. It would be insane if they stopped taking reports on strange aerial phenomena. Because like I mentioned, and they mentioned, what if it's a foreign adversary? You're just going to ignore it? No way. The program began in 2007, the Times reported, and its biggest advocate was former Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid, who is a space phenomena enthusiast and whose longtime friend, billionaire entrepreneur Robert Bigelow, benefited from the millions of taxpayer dollars directed toward his aerospace research company. So why should anyone be concerned at all about UFOs? A lot of people might think it's silly, but History.com has this interesting story called The 5 Observables, 5 UFO traits seen by Navy fighters that defy explanation. I've read that there are a bunch of different people who fly planes for the military who have witnessed this, and commercial pilots who have witnessed this. There's a pattern. Maybe it's a weather phenomenon. I don't know. Maybe it is. I think that's kind of, look, a lot of people are going to claim there's no way it's weather, but no, seriously. There are some really weird weather events that are rare. Ball lightning apparently is a real thing. Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought it was. So weird things happen, And so a lot of people might see something, think it's something else. There could be weird kind of like light projections. And often we feel these explanations are just BS. Maybe they are. But let's look at these traits and see, what is the pattern that's being witnessed. The story says, a UFO has earned its unidentified status when cockpit transcripts from elite Navy fighter jets include this frantic pilot exclamation. Holy S, what is that? I'd have to say, if you're someone who flies a lot and multiple people have seen this, you got something going on. When Luis Elizondo ran a small team at the U.S. Department of Defense investigating military-based reports of UFO, they call it UAP, he heard numerous such accounts by some of the most highly trained aeronautic experts in the military. They describe objects that appeared to be intelligently controlled, possessing aerodynamic capabilities that far surpass any currently known aircraft technology. Now pursuing his investigations as part of To the Stars Academy of Arts and Sciences, Elizondo is an integral part of the investigative team featured on History's Unidentified Inside America's UFO Investigation, where they have continued to gather eyewitness accounts. So let's take a look at the 5 observables. Anti-gravity lift. Unlike any known aircraft, these objects have been sighted overcoming the Earth's gravity with no visible means of propulsion. They also lack any flight surfaces, such as wings. In the Nimitz incident, witnesses described the crafts as tubular, shaped like a Tic-Tac candy. 2. Sudden and instantaneous acceleration. The objects may accelerate or change direction so quickly that no human pilot could survive the G-forces. They would be crushed unless we could explain anti-gravity and instant acceleration if they can operate outside the confines of space-time. I am not a quantum physicist, I am not an astrophysicist, but based on my cursory readings of Star Trek fan fiction, my understanding is that the general idea of a warp drive is that you warp space and time around you, so you're not actually moving through space-time. It's more like you're in between space-time being propelled, so you're not constrained by the laws of physics. You then wouldn't experience the G-forces, presumably, and you'd be able to travel instantaneously. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I just read some Star Trek fan theory stuff. Okay, so Google that, but maybe that is an explanation. They say hypersonic velocities without signatures. If an aircraft travels faster than the speed of sound, it typically leaves signatures like vapor trails and sonic booms. Many UFO accounts note the lack of such evidence, unless they're traveling in a different, through a different means or something, or they're not within the normal confines of our space-time. Low observability, or cloaking. Even when objects are observed, getting a clear and detailed view of them, either through pilot sightings, radar, or other means, remains difficult. Maybe because they're not in space-time or something like that. Warp drive. I'm just talking to my ass. Witnesses generally only see the glow or haze around them. Trans-medium travel. Some UAP have been seen moving easily in and between different environments, such as space, the Earth's atmosphere, and even water. In the Nimitz incident, witnesses described a UFO hovering over a churning disturbance just under the ocean's otherwise calm surface, leading to speculation that another aircraft had entered the water. USS Princeton radar operator Gary Voorhees later confirmed from a Navy sonar operator in the area that day that a craft was moving faster than 70 knots, roughly 2 times the speed of nuclear subs. No one has yet gotten close to crafts that display these traits, so their origins are still unknown. Are they a super top secret U.S. defense project? Do they hail from Russia, China, or even from further afield? The only thing we do know is that their capabilities exceed any technologies currently in the U.S. arsenal. Or perhaps there's a simple explanation for all of this. We live in a simulation, and what we're seeing is a GM, a game manager, or an admin using a developer-only tool to easily travel and moderate certain communities. I'm half kidding. Simulation theory is a fun thing, but ultimately, people have witnessed these things. There's observable traits, there's patterns that have been recognized. Maybe we're all NPCs in an MMO, and only the players know they're actually in the game and don't say anything because they can't, right? But I guess it's all just fun to theorize and wonder what the hell's really going on. But the Pentagon finally admitted it. They do track these things. I love these stories, man. This is fun stuff. So, if more fun stuff pops up, I'll definitely have it. Thanks for hanging out. If you want to support my work, timcast.com/donate. I'll have more segments starting tomorrow at 10 a.m. For the rest of you, one more coming up in a few minutes, and I'll see you all next time.